What's up, YouTube fam? I want to welcome to Lil J Show. I am Lil J. I hope everybody is having a wonderful and blessed day. Hope it's going absolutely amazing for you guys. So I want to jump back on here because Nancy Wells, she had a pretty good show today. And it seemed like she's still riding for Nolan Wells no matter what anyone says. She's still riding for the boy, you know. She's not putting it on them boys, but she's saying, something happened. And all she wants to do is get down to the truth. But we're gonna get into Nancy's Grace show, because it went down maybe about a couple of hours ago. We're gonna get down. We're gonna get into her show. Hold on, give me a sec. Give me 1 second. All right. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, tapping in on this lovely Monday night. Trying to make this a little quick video, a quick live. I want to say what's up to my J crew. I see some of these boys ain't in there that ain't rocking with me tonight. But it's all good. I'm gonna try to have a little quick show. You know what I'm saying? I just decided to jump online. I tried to do a video earlier today, and it didn't go through because I put a song on there, and YouTube wasn't feeling it. They wasn't feeling it. They didn't want that song on there. Well, they said it belonged to somebody, so I was like, okay, well, I was just gonna wait till in the morning. But then when I seen Nancy's Grace show, I said I'm gonna go ahead and jump on here and talk about it. She sure is riding for that boy. But like always, I'm gonna start out with that flyer. I'm gonna start out with this flyer. I told y'all that I was gonna every time I go live, I'm gonna post this flyer for Nolan Wells until the day comes. And that they I sure hope that they stream it when it on that day. So August 19th, 7 p.m. We ain't gonna forget. I'm gonna just post this flyer every time I go live. It's the Nolan Wells National Prayer. Say the keynote speaker is Dr. Jamal Bryant. It's a birthday remembrance, call to prayer, fight for justice. Greater St. John and Me Church, 551 Division Street, Biloxi, Mississippi, 39530. So I know I ain't gonna be able to make it there. I just hope somebody either makes a video or they stream it live. I really hope they stream it live because I would like to see, that. I didn't get to see the funeral. I see bits and pieces of it. I don't. I think they had it live on TV. I believe they did, but I didn't get to see it. So I would like to see this right here. It says the keynote speaker is Dr. Jamal Bryan. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a few more people that's gonna speak. Parents gonna come up, and maybe man by that time all this investigation stuff will be wrapped up by the time they do this prayer rally. But it seems like from the way things are looking, it looks like they trying to get somebody for this. I really do. I believe so because I seen something on live. I mean on Instagram today, and it was a part of the Kumu show. And the guy was saying Kumu was interviewing somebody, and he asked the attorney a question. I think it was one of their attorneys, but he asked him a question, and I think he asked him something about Is it gonna, does he think it's gonna be an investigation, or is, it's gonna be something, and the dude wouldn't answer it. So Kuma was like, "Well, I guess from your answer, I believe, I'm getting it from your answer that something may happen. So, it could be, could be the grand jury might get a go ahead and see if they can start, putting some people behind bars, or trying to, put some pressure on people, because it makes no sense for them to keep the lungs in the neck. When they sent him off to Washington D.C., they should have sent his whole body off, unless, unless they found something. So obviously they found something, because they didn't ship the lungs and the neck. And we sitting around here like waiting for this investigation, everything to come out in the public. And I'm just, me myself, I'm just, hoping that everything goes well for that family. And if they could, I know it's tough to say, but I feel like they could take all the time they need, but they should be trying to uh tell the parents, the family, something to kind of put their mind at ease a little bit. You know what I mean? There's no point in making them just be, have all that anxiety, and just, just so frustrated because they sitting around waiting for the investigation to be over, or the grand jury to make a decision. They should be trying to put that family at ease. That's the way I feel. So I'm gonna get into some of these Instagram posts that, I seen today too, man. It's, some of it don't have nothing to do with Nolan Wells, and some of it does. Once again, like I said, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. We're gonna get into some of this here. Some of this stuff we seen already. Except for except for this. I don't think we seen this right here. Well, hold on. Has anybody seen this right here? I believe this happened in 2017. Let me see.
An unidentified black male located on the front porch of a residence within this block.
Police said the head appeared to be severed from a body at the neck.
I was shocked. Twilight on. I watched Twilight on last night. And I seen something similar to it. I saw it spent a day in my own hood.
A few hours later, police were called to Green Avenue, less than a mile away from the first crime scene. There they found a burned, headless human body in a wooded area.
And while we can't say matter-of-factly right now that one belongs to the other, due to the type of crime and the close proximity of the body parts, we can assume that perhaps this is the remains that was attached to the head this morning.
This breaking news update tonight. Autopsy results show Jeremy Jerome Jackson died from decapitation. Jackson also suffered a non-deadly gunshot wound to the leg. Yesterday, police confirmed the severed head and burned torso found Saturday belonged to Jeremy Jackson. Now investigators, they are hoping tips will come in from the public that can point them toward a suspect.
Through tears, Johnny Jackson recounts the last time he saw his younger brother, Jeremy. It was last Friday. He then got the call Saturday of his disturbing murder.
It was a message sent to somebody or to the city, because you don't just kill somebody's body in the bushes and then take their head and put it on display. They displayed him, and you can ride down the street and see it on the step.
Jackson says his brother Jeremy lived with him. When he wasn't home taking care of his 3 children, he was studying to better his life.
He don't bother no one. He's a Jackson State student. He just got out of school. He got a 3.0 GPA average. He got a social degree. He's working on his master. He hasn't had no problems at home. He ain't had no problems in the streets.
Jerome Jackson is one of 9 siblings who are now heartbroken, praying his murder is solved quickly.
Because he might do it to someone else. We need to stop this. We need to stop the violence. We need to stop all this, unnecessary thing. But this kind of stuff really need to be fun, because they might do this again.
Yeah, that's crazy. I believe I couldn't understand what the man said, but it sounded like they said that his body was in one field, and then the head was in another field across the street. I couldn't really understand it, but this happened in Jackson, Mississippi. Monday they found a young lady behind an abandoned house. But this happened in 2017. But it says authority confirmed that the severed head and the headless body found in 2017 were for the same man they have identified the victim as 30-year-old Jerome Jackson. Autopsy re- Autopsy results revealed that Jackson's cause of death was decapitation. Jackson also suffered a non-fatal gunshot wound to the leg. That's crazy. Jackson was beheaded and his torso found burned Saturday. Tuesday, Jackson police announced a $20,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest in Jeremy Jackson's murder. What does it say? Previous story, autopsy reveals cause death. Okay, yeah, same thing, man. That's crazy. It's happening in Jackson, Mississippi. I wonder who's doing all this stuff. But earlier, I seen the lady that they did find. They're trying to pin it on some black guy, claiming that he was her pimp, like she was supposed to be some sex worker, and the guy was her pimp, and they trying to put it on him. But they arrested him, but they're not for that murder. They arrested him for I think it was a felon with a felon in the possession of a weapon or something like that. But they're looking into him, thinking that he had something to do with it because they said that he had got into a fight with her earlier that day. So I don't know. It may be they may be trying to get him to take a rap for it to cover for somebody else. And then this right here, Brandon Tatum, he goes back to Mississippi. He's gonna do another interview with them boys, and
Ladies and gentlemen,
he said like two more other people that he didn't interview the last time. So he's going back, which is probably gonna be their mistake because that first interview, everybody started, they was just finding out everything. So this one right here is probably gonna make it worse if they had something to do with this.
back in Mississippi, and like I said, the first time I came out here, there's a lot of people that's going to have to apologize. And this time, the weight is even heavier because there are some people that are going to get sued. I was able to interview Warren again to clear up some of the things that people had questions about after the first interview. And then we went on to interview two other young men who were crucial. And people are claiming they were involved in this. They clear it up all the way from text messages, from the keys and the phone being on the boat, the timeline from last year at Horn Island all the way to this year. And I'm telling you right now, for those of you who are balanced and fair, this is going to blow your freaking mind. And I ain't going to lie, y'all, I'm more upset about the narrative that was pushed after listening to these young boys tell the truth and show evidence. Some of y'all are going to get sued, and some of y'all are going to have to give apologies. You just wait until we finish this video and put it out. It's going to blow the internet wide open. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen,
So they did put out a list of the people they were gonna sue. I guess allegedly, supposedly. But I think they probably gonna have to make another list because Dr. Umar Johnson, his interview came out. Shout out to the Art of the Dialogue. His interview came out, and I mean, he didn't hold nothing back. So I think they're gonna probably try to sue him. That's crazy. All right, here's another one that I seen. I don't know. I think this happened somewhere in the Carolinas, man. These white men just jumped this dude. I think he said the black dude said F America. And they just started jumping this guy. And nobody was like, nobody tried to stop it. I think his girl or somebody he was with, man, she had to get in between them, man, but try to stop all them white men from jumping on this one guy. And all these people around, nobody tried to stop this.
Here we go.
That's crazy. Got them people that's around there, and they just standing there watching it. The damn lady had to get in between them for them to stop, man. And all these people, like him with these glasses on his head, nobody tried to run over there and stop that. I mean, it was an unfair fight. It looked like about 5 or 6 guys trying to get a lick in on this dude. Let me watch this. I wanted to see what this guy grabbed and hit him in the face with. I don't know what if it was a plastic water bottle or a can. It was something.
There we go.
They're getting out the way. They're trying to stop it. God, that's crazy, man. The young lady had to get in. I wonder if she's with this guy. But she just seen that they was jumping him. And this was, I wonder, what is a viral video from PFL? What is a PFL? It was in Charlotte. It was in Carolina, Charlotte. What is a PFL? Does anybody know? This right here, man. I didn't get the first part of this, so I'm not gonna play that. But they said it was some black ladies. They were going to a restaurant, had put in had reservations for the restaurant. They knew they was coming. They was celebrating one of the ladies' birthday, I believe. When they got to the restaurant, the staff seen that they were of color, and they didn't want to serve them. So I guess they started going out, but I didn't get the first half. Once I want to get the first half of it, and then I'll put it on my next live. But this one right here is crazy. Here says a North Carolina teenager who admitted to driving 100 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone for a devastating crash that killed 2 black women has been sentenced to 6 months. He only got 6 months for killing 2 black women. And I believe this is in Carolina. Yup, North Carolina. Is that what they think our life is worth? To 6 months? It's been the other way around. Shit, brother would have been under the jail. That's crazy. And then I seen this too. Somebody is saying this could be a possibility how Nolan Wells had that bruising on the back of his neck. Since people keep asking me what I think happened to Nolan Wells, this is my opinion with all the facts. So you think if somebody grabbed him like that? Could be. Because I know they said they found him face down in the ocean. And I believe Dr. Umar said when they shipped him to DC, they shipped him face down, so there's no way that that bruising could have came from when he was being shipped. They said they shipped him face down, and they found him face down. So I don't know. So it could be a possibility. We was talking about the I want to show this too, man. So they was talking about the buddy was gonna stay on that island without his phone, but look at this picture right here. I guess this is his prom picture. You know what I'm saying? He all dressed up, nice and clean, sharp in a mug, man. But look, he took the picture with his phone in his hand. So there's no way. I don't believe he wanted to stay on that island without a phone, without any type of way of communicating with anybody. He got that phone in his hand in this picture. So I know daggone well he wouldn't stayed on that island without his phone. And this lady even Called it out too, phone in hand. Teens are rarely without it. Say, may God surround you and your family with love. That's what's up. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, this right here, man. Oh boy was dropping some jewels too. He was cooking. Check this out.
Why are y'all so adamant about him drowning? Coming onto my page spewing propaganda and misinformation and crap. Listen, I was trying to be fair until y'all started talking. I was trying to be fair until y'all reminded me of so many inconsistencies in y'all stories and y'all doing all the talking. To take us off the scent trail of Nolan Wells, stop. Just stop. It's now a cover-up. It could have been an accident. I think it was an accident. But the cover-up is going to get all of y'all. Watch. So let's talk procedures, because that was my premise of my argument. Do you remember, what's that young lady name? Casey Anthony? She was in handcuffs one day after her daughter was reported missing. Not for murder, but for lying. And what about that guy named Brian Welsh? He was held 4 days, and the charge, it was misleading investigator. He is currently serving life right now. And lastly, what about that Lori Vallow girl who sat in jail for 4 months because before they even found her children? Procedure. That was my argument. Procedures. It's called collateral charge. It's not saying that y'all guilty, but basic procedures. Every state has it. You don't need the cause of death. You need one person whose story that doesn't match or doesn't hold up. So Jackson County, did all accounts match up? No. Other witnesses' story match up? No. Stories don't even match. And if they match, why don't you publicly say so? If you flip the skin color, if 3 black teenagers came back from Horn Island and that one white kid didn't, their clothes would be in evidence bags. Their phones would be imaged. That boat processed from the stem to the stern with blood forensics or cadaver dogs before sundown. Everyone knows this. That was my argument. Procedures. Any state goes through its procedures. So you can't sit up here and tell us that a young dead man's keys and his phone shows up at your house on the coffee table near a gaming console. One of those young men's keys is in this bedroom, that their asses would not be taken downtown in custody for procedure. It's procedural work. Any law enforcement would do it. So miss me with your Mississippi white privilege. Mississippi law enforcement, you missed opportunity to test their clothing worn that day. You could have did forensic blood work, blood splatter. Procedures, damn it. Because you immediately said it was no foul play and likely said it was a drowning. So you effed up. You effed up what? The procedures. Did you test the boat? No. Procedures. What about the closing? Nope. Procedures. What about the house where the keys and the phone was found? Nope. Procedures. That was my argument the whole time. So don't come at me. Arrest these 3 gentlemen right now. Hell, if it was me, I would arrest them right now because of what? Procedures. I'll put an ankle monitor on them right now because they may skip town. It is a crime to know of a crime that you didn't report. Truth has no party. Y'all be well. Why are y'all so...
Yeah, man was dropping them jewels, and that's true. Like, a lot of people were saying that that Cito call was probable cause for arrest, and I don't believe so because it's so many versions of it. You know, like some people say that they heard this, and some people say they heard some other stuff. But I mean, me personally, I didn't really hear a lot of stuff that people were saying. I know I heard the beginning of it where they said that lady said, "Can we cover it up?" And she sounded like a older lady, like her mid-30s, 40s. And then I heard, "Damn it, Bart," and the other girl say, "Oh my God." So I'm thinking, you know what? If they would find them 2 females that was on that boat, they probably could get a lot of questions answered because, I mean, nothing against the females, nothing against them, the other ladies, but I just feel like they would talk, if they put some pressure on them, females would go ahead and just talk, If they were around and when that happened to him, there must be some really tough-skinned females because a lot of females, they couldn't handle it. They would be crying, be like everybody asking what's wrong with you, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that they would be able to hold it. They would have to tell somebody. I seen this man today too. What are you talking about?
People of color. Remember I told you that they would be hunting people of color in America? Well, now Donald Trump and Marco Rubio have got every moron Fox News watching patriot and fake ass patriot in America getting in their trucks and ready to hunt people of color. Oh, we're gonna hunt everybody. We got a purge coming. We're gonna purge America of all Islamic radicals and all these black gangsters and all they're doing is they're forcing the weak-minded rednecks and the weak-minded Fox News Republicans that will eat the shit out of Donald Trump's brief to force them to be able to cancel the elections. That's what they're doing. Their whole play is to have the weak-minded Americans that listen to every word that Donald Trump says to force elections to be canceled in the United States by there being civil unrest. And the people, the ignorant people that watch Fox News and listen to Donald Trump are too dumb to realize what's going on. These people are the dumbest people on the planet. That's why Donald Trump ran as a Republican, because he knew that he could manipulate these weak-minded individuals into doing whatever he wants. And now they're all behind him, and what they're doing is keeping him out of prison. Basically what they're doing for raping children. And these are supposed to be, these good old boys, these rednecks, these are supposed to be the kind of men that would stop anybody from raping a little girl. But it's obvious that men in the South and rednecks in general could care less about anybody raping a child. This is proof. These people are 100% behind Donald Trump and would, like I've said before, would allow Donald Trump to rape their own child if he wanted to come to their house and do it. That's how weak-minded these people are. And it's an absolute disgrace to live in a country with all these morons. God loves you. I love you.
What y'all think about that? That's crazy. And I hope this just hearsay, man, but you just never know, because he talked them into doing that crap in, what was it, January 6th little thing where they stormed that whole White House. I don't know what he did. It just seemed like he just had some kind of remote control, man, and people just started coming from out of the woodworks. And they went up there and destroyed that place, unalived some officers, everything. And one of them, it was a few of them talking about they was looking for. I know I seen some say they was looking for Nancy Pelosi, and I think somebody went in our office and took a crap on her desk and everything. So, man, I don't know. I really hope that's just hearsay, man. I really hope they don't try to do that, because that's the last thing this country needs right now. Look at this right here. This buddy, this is stupid right here. I don't know. Just watch it. That's crazy. Why would you have a gun that close to your face? For what? Like when stunning for the ground goes wrong. Why would you have a gun that close to your face, knocked out by 4 or 5 of his teeth? You an idiot. I seen this little kid too, man. He was talking good. He started asking these questions, but he's a little smart little kid.
In a very short span of time, we've had one brother lose his life and another brother be sentenced to 35 years in jail at only 17 years old. It's scary because I know that for a long time, people have hated our skin tone and killed us just because of our skin tone. But I know that in today's day and age, we have a brother killing another brother. So no matter what, it looks like we're always losing. In those videos that I see of people's pictures or people's names of these black brothers on different memorials and on different videos of them losing their lives, it's like, it's scary because I know that these are young black brothers, and I know I'm a young black brother. I know other races are losing their life too, but this really hits hardest to me because I'm also a young black man. And I know that the scary part is one day I could be that young black man whose picture is shown in that video. I could be that young black man who has balloons going into the sky because I lost my life. And that's very scary for me at only 13 years old. So yes, the videos and the interviews are important about you speaking up about it. But right now, we need action. We need people to get their hands dirty and say something about what's going on and actually do something, build programs, protests, outreaches, anything to really help the young black man live longer, stay out of the streets for the rest of his life, stay out of jail for the rest of his life. So I really need all of you guys to help me push this narrative, push this trend. Because it's just scary for me at the end of the day. And I want you guys to really... I'm sorry. This is just really important to me, but I hope you guys continue to have a wonderful, great, and amazing day and really listen to what I just said, because I'm glad I was able to put this on your mind today. I want you guys to always remember that positivity is always a plus, because taking action for something that you believe in is positive.
Man, shout out to that young brother, man, for real. Wonder who he is. You know, usually by that time, man, kids just used by that age, they worried about playing outside, playing video games, man. Shout out to that brother. Might grow up to be something, man. Let me see. This one's kind of funny, man. Let me see. Oh, this right here is what I was talking about. So this guy said he was watching the Chris Cuomo, I think that's his name, the Como dude, and he's one of he's talking to one of those boys' attorney. So basically, I think that he's in so many words trying to say it may be somebody may be getting arrested. Let's just look at him and see.
Wait, Chris Como just leaked something that's pissing everybody off in the Nolan Wells case. Toxicology information and autopsy report information. In this recent, y'all listen to this, y'all not going to want to miss this. Now, many people are believing that ever since that rescue call or whatever it was when they were on the boat, the CTO call, ever since that came out and people are like, I hear things about Nolan, people are thinking like, now they're trying to victim shame Nolan. So Chris Cuomo put out some information. Listen to this, and I'm going to tell you what I think.
So the toxicology early on shows a significant level of blood alcohol, the BAC level, as they call it in the body. You have also heard that. Am I correct, counsel?
I'm going to wait till the pathologist puts out the report, and I'm going to wait till the district attorney puts out the evidence that they have. What I will say,
but safe to say is you cannot contradict me at this point.
Also, in that same podcast episode, he also said that he has sources that he can't reveal that are saying that it was drowning. So I don't know what to believe, but I don't like how they're just putting stuff out there like that. And I don't know, maybe Chris Cuomo still has beef with Don Lemon. I don't know, but I don't like it. What if I told you? Just for...
So my bad, I had it backwards. They said I guess this attorney found out. He's basically trying to say in so many words that it was a drowning because he was drunk. I thought the attorney was saying that there could be an arrest. That's what when I first listened to it, I really wasn't paying attention to it. But when I first listened to it, I thought that's what he was saying. Now we don't know about Charleston White, but I sure got I'm sure gonna read it. I don't know what he got arrested for, but his ass got arrested either today or yesterday. This lady right here, she gets on the gram and she just breaks down. I want to just listen to her.
Fatigue has gotten real. And I'm not trying to offend nobody, but if you get offended, maybe you fucking might need to be. I'm tired. Every fucking culture and other race on this fucking planet raised their children to hate my kids. We don't raise our children to hate y'all kids. Y'all are the most disgusting people on the fucking planet. Yet you think that me and mine are beneath you. I'm here to tell you something. And I don't care who I fucking offend. And I mean, I'm saying this shit with tears in my eyes. I'm tired. I'm tired of you racist sons of bitches. You need to be eradicated off the face of this earth. We do not raise our children to hate. But you sorry beneath the bottom of the barrel, bottom feeding sorry peckerwood bitches. Raise your children to hate mine. And when I say I'm motherfucking tired, I'm tired. All y'all talking about y'all want to save the fucking world. Will you wake the fuck up? The majority of these motherfuckers ain't meant to be saved because they ain't even real. And I said what I said. It ain't made mainstream news yet because they don't want to tell y'all the truth. But I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Them bitches gonna burn. 1,000 people died in 72 hours in France from the sun. When I say let them burn, I fucking mean it. Let them burn. Fatigue has gotten
This lady got a lot of hate in her heart for real. Damn. All this hate going on. It's all this hate in the world. But I'm finna play something funny, man. Let's kind of get off of that. It's just this anger, man, and it's this. I guess it is becoming this racial divide, man. It's crazy. We shouldn't even be going through this right now because there's so much other stuff, man, that we should be worried about. Especially this whacked out ass president we have. But check this lady out, man. I thought this was like some serious shit, but it's funny, man. I like this.
This is a lot. So, for years, I debated on if I should even come forward with this situation that I went through. It was years ago, but it's been on my heart for years. So I decided that I should just come clean and that I shouldn't hold back because he didn't. I know a lot of y'all probably feel like,
I wish I could make this picture bigger for y'all. You gotta see who's in this picture, man, before she starts talking. But this shit is funny.
oh, why bring it up now? But it's just been weighing heavy on my spirit. And I thought that I should just come forward. So some years ago, I was in LA at the Madrion Hotel. And the person you see below, I don't want to say his name. I'm sure we all know who this is. It was a horrific experience. As you can see, I was smiling, but the smile only lasted so long. And this person right here, as he stood there and hugged me, he farted. And when I say I almost had to stop, drop, and roll, I mean it. It was deadly. It smelled like rotten eggs. I never smelled nothing like it before.
Oh, my God.
So if you're watching this, if you see this, you know exactly what happened. You know what you ate. You know what you did. And I just want an apology.
Hey, shout out Jamie Foxx, man. I wonder if he put that girl up to doing that. That's crazy. Charleston White, man. This boy got arrested. Let me see what he got arrested for. I know they were saying it. I didn't see what he got arrested for. Shit, let me see. Oh, shit. Hold on. I got to see. Oh, there we go. What's that name? Jamon? Charleston Jamon White. 5'9", 128, 1977. Brown, black, male, black, non-Hispanic. He got arrested today. Oh, he got arrested today. Was it today? Yeah, it's today. Damn. Unlawfully carrying a weapon, possessing of marijuana, and driving a motor vehicle without a driver's license. That boy making all that money, he ain't got no driver's license. What the hell? Come on, Charleston. And in the damn little picture, man, he in there smiling. Forgot that fucked up why he's smiling. He's sitting up there talking about everybody and that shit. Then down came back on your ass. Shout out to Charleston White. Boy, crazy. Let's see, it was 3 pictures. Oh, it's damn booking photo. All right, y'all. I'm finna get into this Nolan Wells, Nancy Grace thing. So she had a few people on her, but she, they talking about certain things. Like I know the one guy said that there's evidence showing they're saying the same thing that the Tatum guy said. There's evidence showing that Nolan Wells got into an altercation around 5, so those boys are supposed to be long gone not by now. But somebody saying that he got into an altercation around 5, so I think they said them boys left around 3:40 or 4 o'clock. And you know what I'm saying? She's really debating them, but I think she's still thinking that those boys had something to do with it too. The way she's talking to these people. So check out Nancy Grace. And really, this is the first time I've ever seen her go hard for somebody black. I mean, she probably has. I've just never seen it, but she kind of riding for Nolan Wells. Everybody wants the truth, man, and she's like going in for him. Let's check it out.
I want to thank you for being with us.
If people are sending in videos, they should be using those videos to conduct further investigation.
There is a group of people fighting at 5 p.m. Who are they? Where was he? He wasn't floating in the water. He wasn't on the shore. Tonight, evidence of a so-called mystery altercation is emerging. Straight out to Crime Stories investigative reporter Dave Mack. Dave, what can you tell me first about this so-called mystery altercation? And this is not with the men that went to Horn Island on the boat. You know what? Let me just be clear. Crime Stories is not a symposium, a gathering place for a witch hunt. We want the truth about what happened to Nolan Wells. We are here to convict no one yet. And if evidence of a mystery altercation with other young men arises, we are pursuing it. Dave Mack, what do we know about some mystery altercation? We think after the Triton left Horn Island.
Nancy, this is a mystery altercation that is being described through social media as something that took place around 5 p.m. that day. This is 30 minutes after the Triton already left. And in this particular account, a Bertram boat was seen leaving shortly afterward at a high rate of speed. Now, this social media conversation claims that a person, one of the passengers, pretty certain Nolan Wells was part of a group that was, quote, almost fighting around 5 p.m.
Bip, 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 bip. Whoa, wait. Hold on, Nellie. Did you say 5 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I jumped in, Dave Mack, is because 5 p.m., if Nolan was seen in an altercation at 5 p.m. on Horn Island, that's after the Triton, had already left. Let's see the boat, control room. We're talking about the boat leaving Horn Island. That boat. Had that boat already left when this altercation occurred? Dave Mack, that's a yes, no.
Yes.
Listen.
But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed or talked to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Nolan and another person that he may have been in an argument with, to me, are people that need to be investigated.
Guys, let me...
Man, the way I feel about him is, you say you're not racist and you bias on this. You seen those text messages, brother. You seen those text messages. Why didn't you have them sent to you or screenshot them and share them with the family? If the family didn't want to have nothing to do, put them out in the public. Just you. I ain't talking about the state, sharing their investigation information, but him. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you share that with the family or the public? He said that he was supposed to send Trent Out Loud. Shout out to Trent Out Loud. He was supposed to have been sending Trent Out Loud the metadata of those videos to prove that that was on July 4th. And Trent said he never heard back from him. So he just called him a flat out liar. So everybody's thinking he's standing up for them boys. And it is true. You're not showing proof, but he was the first one to came out and said Nolan was on powder. He has no proof of that. Somebody sent me a message. Okay, show the message then, but he hadn't done that. There's always a message or a DM, but he never shows it.
First introduce Cheryl McCollum, Colgate's Investigative Research Institute founder. Let that sink in at coldcasecrimes.org. She's a star of a hit podcast that I have listened to on loop, by the way, Cheryl McCollum. And I don't like much of what you're saying, yet I keep listening. Zone 7, she's author of a brand new book, Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer, solving the cold case of the Flint River Killer's daughter, and more. But for my purposes tonight, she's a forensics expert. Greg Morse, before I even get to the merits of this, where I meant to go with this is everyone has been focusing on the young men that were on the boat that took him to Horn Island. Then we get this audio that we're trying to corroborate, where seemingly in the background, you hear them talking about trying to revive Nolan Wells on the boat. Is that even real? We don't know yet. Or has it been doctored? Trying to find out. I've got experts telling me, renowned experts, by the way, it's real, and renowned experts saying it's not real. It's just like a trial, right? Where it's expert v. expert. Who's telling the truth?
Sure.
I wanted to talk about this mystery altercation. If it happened at 5 p.m., that boat was already gone. Now, as much as some people want to hang the young guys on the boat, I want to make sure we hang the right person. If there is a mystery altercation after that boat lift, we need to be investigating that altercation.
Well, you're 100% right, because the three young men that are, at least the people are saying are involved in this, that went there with Nolan Wells, there's a specific timeline from what I read.
Put him up.
needed assistance on their boat. They left at 4:30.
You
They had
just
called
gave me
CTO.
a chill
So
down my spine.
if
You can't
there
introduce
is
something because people say, I don't care what people say on either side.
no,
They mean nothing to me. What?
Nancy, that's the problem when we have things like podcasts today and people who are not qualified to talk about serious things like this. They're not experts. They want to get likes. Law enforcement is going to keep information
He
close to the
said
best.
he saw the DMs. I don't have
Okay,
a
so what does that
reason
mean?
to think
That's
he
not
didn't
legitimate.
see the DMs. Now, many people are arguing that he has taken a side. We have not taken a side. I'm on the side of finding out why everybody got back to the mainland except Nolan Wells.
Well,
and
listen,
nobody
these
saw
are
anything.
teenagers.
Nobody knows anything. It's just like Tupac Shakur got shot on the Strip
Nancy,
at Vegas, and we still don't know what happened. Nobody's.
What would make her think that he's telling the truth about those DMs? Because like a lot of stuff, man, he hasn't been truthful with. It's been a lot of stuff, and even on his just past videos, content he's made, he lies in that too.
Saw a thing. That's BS.
These are
What?
young men hanging out. It's not unusual one may stay behind to hang out with other people. None of that is unusual for teenagers partying and having a good time. So that fact alone doesn't mean anything. What?
Where's your cell phone? Where is your cell phone? And try not to lie. Where's your cell phone?
Okay. Right here.
Oh, really? Because here's mine. So you want to tell me Nolan Wells stayed behind and his cell phone went without him? I understand. Don't everybody start screaming that he didn't want to get it wet. Of course he didn't want to get it wet. But there's ways around that. You can go put it on shore in your shoe like everybody else does to hide it from people and then retrieve it when you go.
Yeah, because I mean, you could tell like he took the prom picture standing in front of that door, and he had his cell phone in his hand. So I don't believe that, man. I mean, I know people can make mistakes. You know, maybe he's having a lot of fun because I've been in some of my friends' cars, and we ride, and he dropped me off at home, and I left my cell phone in his car. And I don't realize it until I'm in the house and probably finna sit down and eat something. Like, damn, where my phone at? And I ain't left it in his car. You know what I'm saying? So, but these kids, man, they just can't go without it. Like I said, his picture, well, it looked like a prom, like he was going to the prom, and he was standing in front of the door, and he had the cell phone in his hand. So there's no way. I don't think that he would have wanted to stay on that island without that phone.
No, he let the boat leave with his phone. I agree with his mother on that. That is not Nolan Wells. He was never away from his phone.
So that doesn't mean anything in of itself with what's coming out about this. You know, you're talking about him staying behind. You're talking about there's evidence that he was there after 4:30 p.m. If he's there after 4:30 p.m., Nolan Wells on that island hanging out with other people, that's it. The fact that a cell phone is on a boat and he's not as a teenager doesn't really mean anything at all.
Okay, you know what? I asked you about a mystery altercation, and should we be looking in that direction right now? And you're like going on and on about the cell phone.
No, but
everybody
that's
that
my
owns
point.
a cell phone, which is everyone, knows you never
Nancy,
leave
that's
without
my
your cell
point.
phone.
You have to look at what really happened. If there was this mystery altercation, then yes, the police need to be investigating that. They need to be looking into that.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought, you know what? Let's hear Tatum again. And hey, take it for what it's worth. Try to get the truth out of what we're hearing. Okay? Listen.
Nolan and another person that he may have been in an argument with, to me, are people that need to be investigated.
With that, I agree with Tatum. As much as we disagree on practically everything else, if this happened, and forget about the girl, I'm talking about the altercation. Cheryl McCollum, come on. He dies. Nobody sees him. The others get back safely. Now we're hearing about an altercation afterwards. And I'm not ruling out that he was on that boat when they left. But now I'm hearing about an altercation. When you can't tell the truth of what's happening, look at who was angry. Look if there was an altercation. I don't know what happened, but when I hear altercation after the Triton left, I've got to go there.
You got to look at it. You absolutely cannot ignore it. But one thing we already know from the second autopsy, they would have mentioned if he had any type of injury to his knuckles, if he had been in a fight. We didn't hear anything about abrasions or bruising or any type of injury that would be indicative of somebody that is a college football player fighting somebody.
Okay, now I have just told everybody that you're a forensic expert. It's starting to taste like a dirt sandwich. Because, okay, I'm going to let you sit in the corner and think about what you just said. Joe Scott Morgan joining me.
Damn, she put that lady in the corner. Go sit in the corner. That's crazy, boy. This lady be wilding for real.
Professor of Forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. He is a death investigator with over 10,000 death scenes under his belt, deaths of all genre. Joe Scott Morgan, let's refresh Cheryl McCollum's recollection. That's what you say in court when obviously the witness is gone off the rails. Your Honor, pause, Your Honor, objection. May I refresh the witness's recollection? In other words, get it together. Don't you remember what we just talked about before you got on the stand and you give them a piece of paper and go, can we see that the drawings on the autopsy control room? Joe Scott, there's a big, thank you. There's a big honking mark, subcutaneous, deep reddening tissue on his occipital. If I hit somebody in the back of the head, it'd be right there. We don't know what that is.
No, we don't. But to Cheryl's point, she's accurate. And here's why. Because in forensics, it's not just about positive findings. It's also about negative findings, those things that we are absent. So in that report, as she had mentioned, there was no indication that there was any kind of contusions on the hand, the arm, no kind of defensive event like a parry with a forearm, scuffing of the knuckles, that sort of thing. This forensic pathologist that did the second assessment didn't see any evidence of that. And so that's the first place I'm going to go to, aside from not having the actual primary autopsy report that has not been released yet. But you've got an individual that has, in fact, been retained by the family that's making this assessment. And it's a pretty damn thorough assessment, as a matter of fact, based upon many of them that I've read over the years. You don't see any kind of insults to the arms, the hands, anything like this. The one thing about that thing in the back, this focal area that they're talking about is, and I come back to this all the time, Nancy, is that his body, Nolan's body, is in such a state of decomposition to this point that he cannot make a definitive assessment on that area. And he did a multi-layered dissection, which, by the way, according to him, had not been done by the state medical examiner's office in Mississippi. He just went about it a different way. And as a matter of fact, if you like that one, I got another one. The examination that this physician in D.C. did on Nolan's remains ranks right up there with the most thorough, hear me talking, the most thorough dissection that you can possibly do on human remains. It's the same one that we do on bodies that have died, individuals that have died that have been incarcerated, in custody deaths. You know what all that means: in the back of a cruiser, in a holding cell, in a prison. Those autopsies rank right up there with the most thorough that we can go. It's a very deep dive that they did on his body.
Joe Scott, you are stating that due to the level of decomposition in Nolan Wells's body, that you can't really figure out why his occipital bone area had deep reddening, and that was seen nowhere else in the body. That's because of decomposition. Isn't that true?
Well, it's true in the sense that that's what
Didn't you just say that?
I'm repeating what the physician said in his autopsy report. I didn't do the examination.
So then that would be a yes. So at that level of decomp that you're claiming could obscure the nature of the deep reddening on his occipital area, but yet on the other side of your mouth, you are claiming that even with this intense decomposition, you didn't see evidence of any reddening on his knuckles or any indication of a fight. So you want it two ways. You want to say, decomp, can't tell what that was on the back of his head, but even though he's highly decomposed, I can tell you, he didn't have any reddening on his knuckles.
So if y'all went in and watched Dr. Umar's interview with Art of the Dialogue, shout out to Art of the Dialogue. But if you watched it, Dr. Umar said that when they found him face down in the ocean, that's exactly how they shipped his body to Washington, D.C. So there's no way that could have happened, that reddening or whatever they found in the back of his neck, that could have happened during the transport. So that's out. Well, TMZ claimed that that's a possibility. It could have happened during the transport, but it was so deep. What that doctor said in Washington, it was deep. It was like layer. He had to go layer and found it. Now he's saying that he doesn't have no battle wounds. So to me, it sounds like he was caught off guard and hit in the back of his head. Because they're saying he don't have no battle wounds, like he was trying to fight off somebody or anything like that. So what if somebody told him, hey, can you reach down and get this? And as soon as he reached down, bent down, boom, right in the back of his head. Something, but I don't know. I guess we'll see when the second autopsy comes out. Well, the state's autopsy, the first one, because they hadn't came out yet. But what they're telling me, during this autopsy, they didn't see no battle wounds, like no scars on his knuckles or anything like that. So maybe he was caught off guard and just hitting the back of his head right there.
Really?
No.
Because I see a problem with that.
Okay, you've skinned your knee before, right? Okay. If you have an abrasion, that's completely different than a contusion. That means you have scraping and the tearing away of the skin. That's something that's very obvious. And guess what? I've been in enough fist fights in my life that I know what scraping. Right, I know, and you're misstating that because it's not a matter of reddening. When we look at hands, we also look at contact points where people are being abraded as a result of scuffing their hands. That's different than a color discoloration. We're talking about the top layer, the epidermis down to the dermis is being scraped away. He doesn't see any evidence of that in his autopsy.
I'm not talking about a scrape. I'm talking about if he had, for instance, reddening from a welt, the beginnings of a bruise, with that level of decomp, you're telling me you could still make that out?
No, those two things cannot exist in the same universe. You have to have an abraded area, and there would be multiple of them on his hands if he is punching or trying to defend himself. And yes, we can make out bruises. Yeah, we can make out bruises.
You don't always have to have scrapes on your hand when you throw a punch. You don't always have to have cuts on your hand when you throw a punch. That's not true.
Well, that sounds mighty convenient if that's the road you want to go down, because I've seen them many times.
That's what I'm telling you. What you're saying is mighty darn convenient. That the reddening on the back of his head, can't really tell anything because he's so decomposed, but you can see his hands well enough to know he was not in a fist fight. Yeah, right. That's convenient, Joe Scott. Look, I'm not trying to convict anybody. I'm trying to find the truth. I'm trying to find out if this evidence of an altercation really happened. And to further muddy the waters, now we have more witnesses stating what they saw.
Another report came to me of someone saying that they saw Nolan with a girl, and they believed that they saw Nolan and this girl struggling in the water. Not necessarily drowning, but struggling. Like it was obvious enough that the person was concerned when they saw Nolan in the water and he was with this girl.
You know, that's from Officer Tatum's show. Cheryl McCollum, it seems to me that that's not true.
So, I mean, why are these people telling him? First off, why are they telling him? Why aren't they telling, like, the police or the family what they saw? I don't understand. I really don't believe him because, like I said before, someone asked him for proof of those pictures that he had or those videos. If it's as if they were, if this was on July 4th at the same day and time, and he couldn't show proof. TMZ said that he did have proof. Well, when Trent asked him, shout out to Trent Out Loud, asked him to send over the proof, he never did. So I don't believe this guy. I don't believe somebody would come to him and tell him, well, yeah, this is what happened. This is what I seen. And they're not telling the police. Who is he?
True. Because don't you think if a witness saw one or two people, quote, struggling in the water, I mean, I would try to help them.
It makes no sense.
And they did nothing?
It doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't be their focal, that they would pay attention to those two people that are struggling to see, is one going under and not resurfacing? What can we do to help? The idea that they would watch that, see a struggle, and then what? Turn back and finish barbecuing? That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Not at all. So this is a problem, Greg Morse. You're a veteran trial lawyer. We're getting so much information, and a lot of it is inconsistent. And that is why you have cross-examination. So you can test the evidence, test whether it's true under the fire of cross-exam. When you have conflicting stories like this, my instinct is to go with the one that makes the most sense. What do you make of these claims that Nolan was struggling in the water? I really believe if he had been, quote, struggling in the water, that either she or her friends would have come forward by now. I mean, what about these guys on the boat that had already left? Don't they want to save them? I mean,
well,
I'm just trying to find out what happened to Nolan. And if this is true, it may place him on the island after they left.
Well, that's it. And that's what the police are doing, is they're going to run these leads down, and they're going to try to verify what's credible and what's not before they go to a grand jury. They're going to exclude information that they think is completely uncredible. However, all of this information, if people are arrested at some point in the future and charged with a crime for Nolan Wells' death, then all of these conflicting stories, all of these different timelines, they become a conflict in the evidence. And as you know, Nancy, there's 3 ways a jury can find reasonable doubt if this ever gets there. And one of those ways is in a conflict in the evidence. So these are all favorable things that would benefit a defendant or defendants down the road. However, there's a reason why law enforcement does investigations. Professionals do it, not podcasters talking about it. Verified sources, all of that is nonsense. The police are going to keep information to themselves. They're going to also keep information private so they can test statements that come from people and verify what they're saying based on factors that don't get released in the media. So clearly something happened after 4:30 when the Triton boat apparently left. And all of these things the police will find, they will discover. You know, the police can discover whose phones were active at the time in that whole area if they choose. May not be able to use it in court anymore after the recent Supreme Court decision a few weeks ago on cell site location information. However, it's an investigative tool that they can line up who's there. They can also line these things up by the boats. Right. And they're calling CETO and things like that. So these are all things the police are going to verify and shake out what they believe led to this young man's death.
I can get the GPS, Morse. I can get the GPS. Yep. I can get the cell phone data. I can get the tracking data. I can tell exactly what time the boat left. But I can tell the truth of that. But I can't tell the truth right now about these conflicting reports. Was he on the boat? His phone was on the boat. That's the whole point. He's traveling with his phone, then he's on the boat. They're saying, no, he wasn't on the boat. Now, this altercation has arisen, evidence of that emerging after the boat left. Who's telling the truth? The mom, his mom says, no way would he have let the boat leave without his phone. Okay, that said, the mom is getting death threats. Nolan Wells' mother dealing with not only her son is gone, he's dead. The investigation going on. Now she's getting threats. Isn't it true, Susan Hendricks, joining us, investigative journalist, author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi, that someone actually called for an investigation into Nolan Wells' mother? Isn't she a home health care nurse?
She is, and it was an anonymous call saying that she needed to be investigated. To me, it was outright backlash connected to what happened to her son. It's despicable considering everything she's already going through. Anonymous calls to say that she's not up to par and needs to be investigated. It's sickening.
Attention homeowners, Nancy Grace here. Scammers are using AI to steal investigating this altercation, this alleged altercation that took place after the Triton left. Placing Nolan still at Horn Island.
Sure.
She let her
I
out the
need
corner.
their photo evidence if they have it. I need the eyewitnesses, the ear witnesses, who saw what, when did they see it, how can they prove it? So if they can tell me who was in the altercation with him, then we're going to bring them in if they haven't been brought in. If there's some type of something they've captured on video or a photograph, that would be great. If it's associated with a boat, does that boat have GPS? When did that boat leave? Where did they go? I want all of that. So, you take the totality. You don't just take one thing. But, you're not going to take somebody's word that just put something on the internet. Have they gone down and talked to law enforcement? Will they come down and swear to what they are saying? That's where you're going to start.
The investigation into the death of Nolan Wells is ongoing. If you know or think you know anything, don't hide under your bed. Dial 228-769-3063.
I don't know. I don't think that's enough money because I think that's that little city, man. There's plenty of money out there. They need to raise their reward for somebody to start talking. But I thought it was gonna be a little something better than that. But I'm gonna give my opinion on it. Like that guy, I'm gonna start out with this. That guy, he was talking about, the content creators, these podcasters and stuff like that. But it seems like they're the ones that's really solving this thing. They're doing a lot more than the police are. I just really think they dragging their feet and they're talking about waiting on these toxicology reports and I guess the autopsy and stuff like that before they can actually come out with it. I know it's kind of killing his mom. Well, I know it's killing his mom to find out, to see what they came up with. They had to have found something because they kept the throat and the lungs. If they didn't find nothing, they should have shipped the whole body or in the parts to that the medical examiner in Washington D.C. But they didn't. So obviously they found something. I don't know if they're gonna say it was foul play or what, but they found something for them to keep that. And also I heard one of these content creators they had like their whole stream, like the people in that live, they would like going, they had them riled up saying that basically they were saying that CETO call, that CETO call was probable cause for an arrest, and I don't think so because I did a live and it was a guy that was a 911 operator, and he also like messes with those types of calls, and he I don't know, like this lady, like the Janet lady, whatever they do, they mess with the audio stuff, but he does the same thing. He was a 911 operator, and basically they listened to the regular call, then they listened to the one that what is her name, Janet or Janae or something like that. They listened to one that she did, and then he made one. So the only one that was really clear was the lady that did it, the first one that she did, the first lady that did it. Hers was clear, but all I could hear was, "Can we cover it up?" And like I said, that sounded like an adult lady, anywhere from around maybe late 30s to early 40s. The first thing, "Can we cover it up?" That sounded like an older woman. And then I heard, "Oh my God." And then I heard, "Damn it, Bart." The other stuff I couldn't make out from what she was saying, that they were saying, "Is he dead?" and all that stuff. I couldn't make that out. So then with the guy they played, the guy, the one that he did, and you couldn't hear nothing but just a bunch of noise. So I don't think that's probable cause for them to arrest somebody, but they could have arrested one of them guys. Whoever had that phone, they could have arrested. And I agree with that. The guy that we watched earlier, where he was saying, man, like if the worlds were reversed, man, they would have took those boys' clothes, phones, everything. But they didn't do anything to them. And also, I heard that Ben Crump refused to let them search the boat with the cadaver dogs, whatever they call cadaver dogs, and he refused it. And I don't understand that. I don't know why he didn't let them search that boat with those dogs, because they may have found something. You never know. I just don't know why he didn't allow them to do that. My thought, man, is you hear the ladies on the CETO call, and all I gotta say, really, to be honest, man, if they find them two girls, or the girl, the ladies, whatever, we hear them. If we find out who was on that boat, and if something happened, I believe them females will talk. I really do. Under some pressure, they'll go ahead and just tell what if they seen anything. Because I don't think nobody's gonna talk from in that city. I mean, half of that people that was out there, they said it was over like what 1,500 people out there. Again, if anything happened, somebody seen it, or maybe all of them seen it, and they just don't want to talk. You know, they said everybody knows everybody there. That one guy, Traced or whatever he said, he was like, "Man, you don't know." He told the Tatum guy, talking about Ben Crump, "Hey, you don't know who he messing with. Could be some bad ones out there, so that's why maybe they don't want to talk." Somebody comes forward and just tells the truth, then it's gonna put their life in danger, maybe their family's lives in danger. And that $125,000 is probably not even worth that, from what they know about the people that maybe did something to him. And if it has something to do with Warren, what is his dad? His dad's a doctor, the stepmom is a nurse. I mean, shoot, man. Just never know. Watch the interview with the guy that said he knew the Wells family, the barber. His name E. And when he did the interview with Tatum, he seemed like he was afraid. They was saying, "Oh man, he's said he was a friend of the family, and now he trading sides." It just seemed like he was afraid. Like, and when they had the conversation, he was saying that we don't bother nobody around here. We know the ones that we could talk to. We know, the ones to leave alone. And he said, with Ben Crump coming down here with all this, he's stirring it back up. So to me, it seemed like he was afraid, and he was like, if all this stuff comes up, either way, if it goes in the favor of the Wells family, or if it just, if it was just, they ruled it accidental, they're still not gonna, they're still gonna be afraid, because all that stuff was stirred up there, and he's looking at it as like, well, what about us? We're the ones that's gonna be left here with these people, and you don't know what kind of people they are. It just don't seem like they don't care over there in Mississippi. Seen the little thing about was it 2017? They decapitated a man and set his body on fire. That's crazy. Everything was in Mississippi, and I think Jackson is only like 2 hours away from Ocean Springs. It's sad, man. I just really wish things could change, man. I hate it for that family, like the Wells family. I really do. I hate it, and I know what it's like to lose a kid. I lost my son for about 5 years ago. And man, it hurt me so bad. Like the first 2 years, it was tough. It was really tough. I didn't even really want to go to work, man. But I had to push through it. So I know what they're going through. I really do. But hey, I've been on here for an hour. I'm finna jump off, man. Hopefully I'll do another live maybe tomorrow or the next day. I always said that I was gonna get on here and do a little story time, introduce myself because I'm new to this thing. I'm just now getting started. I think I've been doing it for about 6 months, but I will get on here one day, tell my little story about, kind of like introduce myself to the YouTube streets, I guess, basically. But hey, I appreciate you guys rocking with me, and please like, share, and subscribe. Become a part of the J Crew. Because the more I get better, the more subscribers that I do get, I'm gonna start doing something for you guys. I'm trying to get to like 1,500. I'm at 5 right now. I ain't as good as a lot of these people on here, but I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? But I will have. I am. Once I get to about 1,500, I'm gonna start doing a little something for my subs. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm gonna tell my story one day. I'm gonna have a story time and tell it. Cause I did lose my son behind. It was crazy. It's hard to talk about, but I will tell it. Until then, man, you guys be safe. Enjoy the rest of y'all's night, and I appreciate you tapping in with me. I'm out.